some people that are like, nah, I'm cool. And I can respect that. Why? Because I'd probably be that way too. I'd be like, nah, I'll sit out and just watch. But here's what I've realized. If you're unsure whether you want to do this exercise or not, it's either a yes or a no, right? There's no in between. It's you're all in or you're all out. If you're, I'm not sure. Let me ask you, answer this question for yourself. Is there a whack song playing in your playlist right now about doing this exercise?
Nope.
Good. If there is, I'm curious, has there been other times in your life you wanted to talk to that person, to try that new thing, but you didn't? Because of a similar whack song that's playing in your playlist right now. Because what I realized is how we do one thing affects how we do everything. If you're taking shortcuts, all of a sudden, oh man, I have this new workout I want to do, and you're taking shortcuts there, there's probably other areas in your life that you're taking shortcuts. You feel me? So I just want to encourage you this. Dude, just try it out. 20 seconds. Give it all out. Try it to see if it works. If it works, you can use it for the rest of your life. If afterwards you're like, no, I'm cool, I don't need this, that's cool. But try it out and you can decide for yourself. Does that sound fair? Yes or no?
Yes.
And here's the thing. This is a very small room. I can see every single one of you. Don't make me walk up to you and call you out, alright? So this is what's going to happen. If you're nervous, like, oh man, I feel, just stare at the ceiling. Nobody will stare back, right? You do that all the time. But I want to go all out, level 10, where anyone in this vicinity be like, I don't know what's happening in that room, but I want to be a part of that, right? So what's going to happen in a moment is I'm going to clap my hands. In a moment, you'll clap with me to bring up the energy in the room. Once I count to 3, you'll stop clapping. Then I'll say, hold up, and you'll start repeating after me. Make sense?
Yes.
Are you guys ready?
Yes.
We got one of you that's ready. I said, are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Everyone clapped up. 1, 2, 3. Round 2. So when I say hold up, you'll start repeating after me. Alright, you got anything else? And remember, we clap and sing, alright? We got this.
Yes.
Alright? Alright, are you guys ready?
Yes.
I said, are you ready?
Yes.
Go ahead and clap, go. 1, 2, 3. Hold up. That is what?
It's what?
Because I eat problems for breakfast. Man, I said hold up. That is what?
It's what?
Because I got this.
it.
I said hold up. That is what?
It's what?
Because the bigger. The setback. The bigger. Come back. Give the person next to a high five and grab a seat. Woo! Yeah. So, quick question. Did that feel a little silly? Yes or no?
Yes.
With that being said, do you feel better? Whether you're more aware, you have more energy, better overall mood, yes or no?
Yes.
So here's my thing. I know it's silly, but it works. And the reason why is you're moving your body differently. It's like this, where you can be like sitting down, doing homework, whatever, but if you go for a walk, a jog, you always feel better. You're engaging your body differently, right? Before you're sitting down, I can stand up, so you move your necks, engage your vocal cords, you move your body. If you move your body differently, you'll feel differently. But my point is this, I know it's silly and it works. And personally, I rather feel silly for a very brief moment, be like, you know what? I'm feeling better now. I can go on my day, then have my whole day messed up and be like, nah man, I'm too cool to do this. You feel me? So if you're having a rough day, boom, change your playlist, change station. Hold up, that's whack. Someone else having a rough time out them, you change their playlist. And here's the thing, is this is just one technique that can help you feel better. I'd say you combine that with your support group. That's the difference. Why? There's a famous African proverb that says this. If you want to go fast in life, go alone. If you want to go farther in life, go together. During my most difficult moments in my life, is able to adjust attitude, but more importantly, it's making those meaningful relationships. People that will build you up when times are tough. I had a mentor, he was like, bro, you got this when we were going through the financial challenges. Other married couples, my wife and I was going through challenges. We need people. People that understand this, life is a team sport. We're all playing this game of life, so why not play it together and support one another, which is by ourselves, right? So make sure, one, learn how to make meaningful relationships in your life. Two, have an extraordinary attitude. Three, is be willing to admit your challenges. I remember one of the best classes I took in college. It was a psychology class, but it is known as the crying class. Why? Because we go to the class, you share your emotions, everyone cries, you leave, you come back, you do the same thing every week. Personally, for me, I was like, nah, I'm cool. Everything's all good with me. Nothing to share here. But the thing is that in college, my brother's gambling debt and his issue, it's been a 20-year span, so it started when I was in college, and recently it started getting better. And I remember my friends seemed to be like, bro, why are you trying to put on front like everything's okay with your family? We know things aren't. And what this class taught me was the power of vulnerability. It showed me it's okay to show that you're a human being and not have to pretend that everything's okay. Why? Because I used to have a wax song that when you're vulnerable, it shows you're weak. But that what I realized, my new song was when you're vulnerable, it shows you're strong. Why? Because not many people are willing to do it. Whenever I connect with anybody, I share my story. I share my struggles. Why? Because that's what people can relate to. Think about earlier, we had to exercise, you partnered up. You shared everything that was great about you, then you shared things that made you less than perfect. And always when we do this, people are like, wow, when I shared what made me feel less than perfect, wow, I had no idea this other person was going through the same thing. And that's what happens when we go through challenges. It's so easy to isolate yourself and no one else understands. No one else is going through this, but that's false. When I ask you, who's stressed, who's overwhelmed? Hands are raising. When we're going through our marriage challenges, we thought we're the only ones. You know other people, we got hope, inspiration, boom, hands are raising. Understand is that whatever challenge you may experience, there's someone else experiencing it too. And you don't have to go through that path by yourself. Just be willing to be real and vulnerable with people. Because I noticed when you are willing to lower your wall, other people are willing to lower theirs. And there's different ways to do it, right? There's 3 ways I'll share to be more vulnerable. Number 1, apologizing. Dude, if you did something wrong, own up to it. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people say, oh, dude, but it's not my fault, it's this person's fault. This is one of the most powerful lessons I learned in marriage that relates to working in team environments, to reflections in life. Your partner, your coworker, your classmate is not the problem. They only reveal the problems within you. Check this out. The other person may be the issue, but if you always finger points that you know it's them, you have no responsibility to grow as a person. But when you look within yourself, that's where you can change and improve the situation. I'll give you a real example, my wife and I. My wife and I, we have a lot of things in common, we have a lot of things very different. And one of the things is spending habits. Holy shnikes. She grew up in a family where her dad really took care of her, meaning, oh, she had like her bills paid up, her dad's, oh, let me help you out. Her brother, being the loving brother he is, he fronted her college education so that she didn't have to take out school loans. And that she paid him back slowly. And then, for grad school, he did the same thing again, and she paid him back slowly. And so she can provide and say, oh, dude, everything just works out. For me, I hustle for it. My parents provided, but I'm like, no, I want to take this responsibility myself. So when we met, she's like, dude, as long as I got money, then I'm all good. I'm like, for real? I'm like, dude, you spend more money on this than I do just to live. And that made a huge clash. Just like if you work on a group project, one person's very vocal, one person's not. Or one person takes all the glory, gives no love to everyone else. That happens in life in every setting. So my wife and I, we were just 2 different things. And it was stressful. And I remember a lot of times, I'm like, dude, why can't we be more like the same? And the thing is this, she's made tons of progress. But what I realized it was teaching me to be more patient. Because think about it, if you have like a nephew or niece, a kid or someone you know, like a little kid, they're learning to walk. And they walk in, you're like, dude, get up. You don't get all upset. You're like, oh my gosh, you did so great. You cheer them on, they fall, get up, and say, oh my gosh, they did this. You love on them, and you're patient with them. You trade what you expect, and you focus on what you appreciate. But the thing is, when we get older, we get more patient with things. I know I do. And with my wife, I said, I can say, dude, she's the problem. She needs to change. But guess what? That does not make me any better. But if I say, you know what? She's teaching me how to be more patient. Because check what? When I have kids, when we have kids together, I have to be even more patient. Because I see my brother and his 2 kids. So now, one of the songs I love is like Sierra's song, Level Up. Where life, constant level, think about when you go from elementary school, you got junior high, middle school. Middle school, each day gets a little harder, but it improves you the next days. Now you're here at community college. Some of you get 4 year here. Some of you will have different. Guess what? Things will be challenging, but they just build upon each other. And I just want to share it to you is that if you're willing to be vulnerable with people, and just be real, that's what creates connections. And those connections is what helps you move forward in life. It's not about the other person, it's about what can you change for yourself to improve yourself. Because you're going to run into people that upset you, that frustrate you. But then when you learn how to better be able to manage it and let go of things easier, that's when you can progress in life. I'll share with you the power of accountability where my dad and I were very close to work. I come from an incredible family, and I know that. I'm constantly reminded, and I constantly welcome people to remind me so that I don't lose the gratitude for them. My daddy fought the war. He's the type of man where my mom and dad have been married for 45 years. He was a sole income provider. He'd come home from work, help mom cook, clean the house, things break down, he fixed the water heater, fixed the car, came to all my sporting events. Unbelievable role model as a husband and as a father. And no matter what, anything I needed, my dad was always there for me. And I remember one day he asked me to transfer the music from his iPod to his iPad. I said, got it. A couple weeks go by because I'm traveling, and he asked me, hey, did you finish it? I'm like, oh, dude, I totally forgot, my bad. And he gets upset at me. He's like, dude, I asked you like 4 weeks ago. And I said, no, my bad. He said, don't worry, I'll do it. I have the audacity to be like, no, I'll do it right now. So I take it. I'm trying to transfer over it. I have a PC. So I'm like, dude, why can't it be easy as a click and drag, right? It should be that easy. 2 hours later, I'm upset, I'm frustrated. I paid $20 to have the software do it for me. And as I get ready to give my dad his iPad, his iPod, I'm overwhelmed with a huge feeling of embarrassment. Why? Because, man, my dad has got my back every stage of my life. I'm talking about when I was a kid, I loved McDonald's French fries. I'd call my dad at work, like, Dad, I'm really craving French fries. Can you buy some for me? And he's like, I can't promise you, but I'll do my best. Every single time I called and asked, come home to ring the doorbell, look outside the window, give up a brown bag and McDonald's French fries. When I started my business, he helped me do all the graphic design. Getting all the sport events, he was there. He was there to be a role model, he was there for everything I needed. But all he needed from me was to transfer music from his iPod to his iPad. And I couldn't do that. It took me a couple of weeks. And I was so embarrassed. So when I gave it to him, I said, Dad, I just want to say thank you for all that you've done in my life. You've been here from the beginning to now. Anything I need, you do instantly for me. And I'm so grateful all of you. I want to apologize on my behalf for taking so long to do this. After opening my heart and being vulnerable like that, he says to me, okay, thank you. Like, for real, bro? I just opened this up. That's all I get? A couple weeks later, he asked me to do something. My brain is fried from traveling. I forget. He gets upset. He yells, oh my gosh, I asked you to do this thing. It took you forever. Why didn't you do this thing for me? I even reminded you. I was like, Dad, I'm just so tired. I'm sorry. Next day goes by. He comes up to me. He says, hey, I just want to apologize for flipping out yesterday. You know, I didn't really think about you probably tired. You didn't mean to forget. That was not your intention. And I apologize for getting upset. The reason why I share this story is that my dad and I would have never had a type of conversation like this. Two massive guys, we don't share emotions with each other. But what I started recognizing is that the reason why this happened, the reason why my dad and I are even closer now, to be able to like, hey Dad, I appreciate you, man, I love you, to talk like that, is because I was willing to be vulnerable. I was willing to say, you know what, let me be real. me apologize and own up to my mistakes. And what happened was that because I was willing to do that, he felt comfortable to do that himself. So one way to be more vulnerable is just to apologize to him. Second way, ask for help. You don't have to be the go-to person all the time. If you're the type of person, you're struggling, you know, you might help me out with some little overwhelmed. That's a way to show that you're here. Lastly, probably the most difficult or the most empowering is be willing to forgive people. That is one of the most difficult things I acknowledge in my life when people who've done me wrong. I'm a super loyal person. So if you cross my path, it's like once, like all right. Second time, it's like, dude, like you are exiled from my life. You don't exist, right? But that's what I know about me, because I go is to learn how to forgive. Why? Because forgiveness is not for the other person; it's for you, right? Because there's a saying where resentment, it's like drinking poison and wishing that the other person is going to die. Because that person's living their life. You're the one carrying around this stress, this negative feeling inside, and it's learning just to let go. It's letting go and say, you know what, this is the past. It happened. What's the learning lesson? And move on. It's easier said than done. But one of the things is maybe it's forgiving yourself for making mistakes. And you know what, maybe this happened for a reason. I don't think accidents don't just happen just randomly. I think there's learning lessons, better opportunity. But learning how to forgive is more for you to let go of any resentment, these feelings, help you to move forward in life, help you move forward in relationships. There's relationships I've mended over time, so I'm grateful, but it just takes that one person to step up, to apologize, ask for help, or to forgive. So right now, real quickly, with the person, your partner, I want you to share with each other who's someone in your life you would like to be more closer with. And then secondly, is how can you be more vulnerable? Whether it's apologizing for something, maybe it's asking for help, maybe it's forgiving. So with your partner, I'll give you about 1 or 2 minutes. Share who's something about that's really important that you want to be closer with. And then 2, how can you be more vulnerable with this person? Go ahead and go. Another 30 seconds.
We are
very emotional person. That means we feel. We are very tired. We fit each other. I do try to like everybody else.
you are
Sometimes. Yeah. I hate when people lose friends and say, oh, like, when you don't feel like sentiments with anybody. I'm making a reflection, a big reflection. 2 years reflection. Now I see that we are different from what we saw. We are
Awesome, very good. Be sure to thank your partner. So there's one thing that you do that will make our time worthwhile. Well, I'm going to encourage you to do, right? For me, it's about taking action, meaning you can hear something that's valuable, but if you do nothing with it, then for me, it's like a waste, right? You only know something when you do it. Intellectually, it doesn't mean much until you actually have real life experience. So, if I'm gonna encourage you is that whoever that person you thought of that's important to you that you want to have a close relationship with, is go ahead and be vulnerable with that person. Do something very simple, whether it's like expression appreciation for them, apologize, maybe just ask for help, whatever it is, just do something, send them a text message, give that person a hug, whatever it is, just show that you appreciate them and that you want to lower your wall first so you can make that relationship closer. That is important to you. Lastly, with our time together, the fourth thing is learning how to lead your actions, not just your words. I like quotes. A modern philosopher, former running back from Seahawks, Marshawn Lynch said, it's all about that action, boss. Because life, you can talk about things, but it doesn't really mean much until you live it. Gandhi has a very popular quote, be the change you
want to see in the world.
It's another one. My life is my message. Where you don't need to tell me what you're about. I can know what you're about by how you conduct yourself, how you live your life. I know what's important to you by how you spend your time, and how you spend your money. And what I'll share with you is that if you want to make a difference to those important to you, within your family, your school, your community, you don't have to talk about it, just live it. If you hate when people are super pessimistic, when they're stressed out, make sure when you're stressed out that you can be that example for them. It's similar to like a little kid, where all of a sudden you do something, they stop copying, you go, oh my gosh, stop doing it, I won't get in trouble. We're big kids, and we're going to do what we see more so than what we hear, and I'll prove it to you. Everyone do me a favor, make an okay sound like this. Take your right hand, make an okay sound like this. Take your okay sign and put it on your chin. Last time I checked your chin, it's down here. Let's say put it on your chin. Now your cheek. But like 90% of you followed what you saw versus what you heard.
I was like, wait, it's funny because I did, I'm like, wait, why are you putting this? So I changed.
Exactly. So my point is that whatever is important in your life, you just live it. Don't just talk it, because a lot of people, it's like this. It's like when people check social media, like, oh dude, hashtag goals, I wish my life was like that. It's like those are people who talk versus they don't see the hard work behind the scenes. They're not willing to stay up late at night, wake up early in the morning. Whatever is important to you, live it. And for me personally, when I have an opportunity, like Jason said, this is like my 5th year here. I come here because I enjoy coming here. I took a red-eye flight. I got in this morning at 5:30. I was at JFK. I was just working. And I came straight here. I'm going to go back home tonight at 7 o'clock. Why? Because this is something that, it's not something I enjoy. This is my calling. This is what I'm supposed to do. And I enjoy having these connections. I enjoy coming to the Bronx because it just reminds me of perspective. Because it's so easy. Whatever life you have, that's your norm. And sometimes it's easy to take things for granted. And for me, I like having real conversations. And that's what happens when I come here to the Bronx. So for me, every time I speak, it's to remind myself, it's like, bro, are you living your message? Because, again, it's so easy to just talk about what's important in your life, but it's so much more difficult to do what's important in your life. So whatever that's valuable to you, live it out. Just don't just speak it out. If you do both combined, speaking and living, that's even more powerful. Now, what I want to do before I leave is make some time for questions. Why? Because this is not about me. This is about you guys. If you guys graduate and never get to see you again, I want to make sure I do my part to support you with whatever is on your mind. So, any questions or thoughts about what we talked about? Questions in general about American Ninja Warrior, relationships don't matter to me, but anything I can do to support you, I want to make the time to do that. So, questions and thoughts regarding our time together, or just questions in general. Oh yeah. It's all right. Oh yeah. All right. So you can capture that. Other questions? Yeah.
Why do people struggle in relationships?
Why do people struggle? It could be a lot of things, but I'm gonna make it simple. This, because people are selfish. We're innately selfish human beings, and what a relationship teaches you is to become less selfish. That's the purpose of relationships, because people think, here, check this out. Dude, you want to talk about relationships? Oh man. So this is powerful. I'm talking about a relationship in general. A lot of times people, I want to be in relationships. I want to feel loved. I want someone to take care of me. I want this. The challenge is that if you don't first love yourself, there's no way that's first, because it's not going to be enough. So what happens is a lot of people in relationships, like, I want this, and people are not filled up. So if you have two people that are not filled up coming together, they're both trying to take from each other versus trying to give to one another. Right? So that's it. It's whenever there's the word I, that's where selfishness comes in. And what I learned within our very short marriage is marriage is the tool to help become more selfless. That's when you go from me to we. And for me, one thing we went to this marriage retreat. Before we got married, check this out, we were long distance for all 3.5 years. We never lived in the same spot. Before we got married, we went to 2 pre-marriage classes, we went to multiple seminars. Why? Because that's just how my mind thinks and prepared. And we still have our struggles, because that's just life. Sometimes you just learn on the job. And one of the things we learned at a marriage retreat was that within marriage, like a lot of people get married because it's like a fantasy. Happily ever after. Movies, all this paint this picture. That is a part of it, but it's like social media. You see the end product, but you don't see all the hard work that leads up to it. I think that's where a lot of people struggle, because they expect one thing, and else it's a rude awakening. And what we learned was that with marriage, a lot of people, like my parents, married for 45 years. They're still playful, they still flirt with each other, because why? It is a commitment. And what happens is, different generations, it becomes about contentment. Am I happy? Because if it's only about you, that's where struggles happen. It's going from what they call the single life in a relationship to we're a unit, we're together. So go back to the question, is a lot of people struggle because it's very innately we're selfish beings. We have to learn to become less selfish. And for anyone that has kids, Jason knows what's up. It's not about you. Dude, you think you want to wake up like, I have a buddy, he just had a baby, he's 7 weeks old. I was helping him out and all that. But my wife, I'm glad she came down recently, she saw the kid, like, dude, for a mom, right? Having compassion. Dude, what women go through, kids, like, unreal. For men, we have it easy. She breastfeeds her child. 45 minutes each time to breastfeed every 3 hours. That's like 6 hours a day breastfeeding. Dude, you think a woman wants to do that? No. If we were, I want to go kick it. I don't want to wake up every 3 hours to change diapers. So a relationship teaches us to be more selfless, be more giving. I think the reason why relationships fail is because people are too selfish and not willing to change for the better, or to level up themselves as an individual.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Dude, I can talk about relationships all day. That's where my lens is at. That's a really great question.
What's your advice on marriage?
What's my life on marriage? Okay.
Advice on marriage.
I'm sorry?
Advice on marriage.
What's my advice on marriage? So, if you ask a more specific question, then I can give a better answer. So, what's specific?
Your top 2 tips.
Okay.
Or top 3.
Alright, oh, man. Okay. So, this one.
Wait, especially for newlyweds.
Newlyweds. Alright. Oh, yeah, dude. What's up? So this one piece is from a guy I met on an airplane. I was speaking at a neuroscience camp at Ohio State University. Old guy sits next to me. And the student comes by, hey, would you like to drink? He says, I like coffee. I like it hot and bitter, like my women. All right, I'm curious about this. And then we're talking, and then she says, oh, would you like some Bailey's for your coffee? He's like, no, I've been 10 years sober. I was curious of why he said women hot and bitter. But I first congratulated him for being sober, because he said he's been sober for 10 years. So he started telling how his dad was an alcoholic, he was, his kid was, things have changed in life. And then he then shared, like, oh, well, what about that hot and bitter comment? He said, well, usually when women meet me, they're really nice, but after they meet me, they're hot and bitter afterwards. I've been married and divorced 5 times. Every single one of those times, they were not the problem, I was the problem. And one advice for me is powerful is this. The people in your life, especially your significant other, they do not need instruction, they only need inspiration. We all know what we need to do, but it's about focusing on inspiring the other person. Where it's like not using vinegar, but using honey to inspire them. Right? Encouragement. It's rather than I expect this from you, it's like, no, I just want to praise you for the progress that you're making. And that's something I learned very quickly, because for me, I give advice. Right? So I'm giving advice, and my wife's like, oh, what do you guys do? I tell her, and she does the exact opposite thing. I'm thinking, are you for real? You ask for advice and you don't take it? And that was a big thing I had to let go of. That was an ego, that was a pride thing. And it's like, dude, it's okay, Juan. It's not, and that's what I learned. Like Jason, he shares some incredible advice. The reason why we speakers sometimes is because we can share the exact same thing he shares. Because it's from a different person, same message, different messenger, it might resonate with you in a different way. Because you see them so much. Same thing with your family. Like, you give the greatest advice ever, they may not take it. Why? Because it's just human nature, what's closest. So I've learned to find other people, other inspired women, to share advice I would share about her business and to her, because I'm like, you know what? I'm not here to be a coach. I realize I'm here to be an unconditionally loving husband. So that's my job. You find a business coach for you. So first advice is give inspiration, not instruction. Even if it's not even there. It's like, oh, you know what? I want to praise you. It's a little thing. Because the more you speak life in it, the more it grows. Second piece of advice, newlyweds, is find other couples. Period. We have a couple group, really cool. They grew up in a rough neighborhood. They're like 20, 21. And she has friends that are very single. So what happens is they're getting advice from people that doesn't serve their marriage. And that's a big challenge, because what happens is sometimes if you're going through a tough time, when you go vulnerable, challenges will attack you. And if you go to people that are not have your best interest, or they think they have your best interest, like if your goal is to have a successful marriage, find people who are successful. If your goal is to do good in school, don't study people who have an F, study person with an A. Right? So don't be giving advice from people who do not have a relationship. So you have to have community. We realize marriage is like a third entity. It's like a baby in itself. So you have to treat it that way. And it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to raise a marriage. So it's finding great people, because there's times my wife and I'll be real about this. We had a very strong thing where, for me, I have a very strong boundary of opposite sex friendships. I'm like, there's a certain where I'm like, no, oh, someone's vulnerable. It's a woman that's vulnerable. I'm going to support and I'm going to encourage them to reach out to other women. I don't want any part of that, because when you're vulnerable, that's when you reach out and you get emotionally connected. My wife thinks the exact opposite. That's something we had a lot of beef about. And that's where our marriage should help, because there's certain boundaries like, no, I'm not willing. The risk is not worth endangering this special thing I have. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's when we have other married couples that share great advice, because my wife learned we're like checking in with each other. Like before as guys, dude, I need to check in. I do what I want when I want. But it's just being respectful for one another. Right? So for us, by having people that are in the same mindset, that's what helps us succeed. So find other married couples to succeed, because you're not here to do it by yourself. 3, be exceptionally humble. This is what I learned quickly, is there's times you think you know something. It's like, for example, any married couple, I'm sure you see this, we're like, oh, like my wife when we first met, her mom was like, oh man, you guys are arguing. Dude, we would never argue about anything. I have respect for this. I have a college buddy he's been married for 10 years, and he had kids. I saw all the struggles he went through. There's patterns in life you all go through. Like for example, infatuation stage, it comes up, oh my gosh, this person's perfect, I love him, this thing's so cute. Whatever was cute becomes annoying later. Right? So the thing is, just realize we all go through phases. Same thing when you get a new job, you're super excited, and then all of a sudden it chills out a little bit. So it's just being humble where for me, when I meet people who are at the next stages of life, like I got a buddy, he has 2 kids, he's like, bro, go all in. You have the prime spot, go all in, whatever's your point, go all in, because once you have kids, if your goal is to be an amazing parent, things are going to slow down. Your goals, guess what? It ain't about you anymore. It's about, this is your goal, this child. You'll still achieve your goals, but it's going to be not as quick if your goal is to be engaged parent. Otherwise, keep hustling like you do, your marriage and your kids are going to suffer. So for me, I take advice from people, and I'm a type of person, I don't need to learn from my own mistakes anymore. I learn from other people's mistakes. Some people, they're hard-headed, like, no, I know what I'm doing, it's different. All of a sudden, they have a life experience. I learned quickly, you know what? I can take advice, and I'll be humble to say, you know what? I trust what you're saying, and I don't need to do the opposite and have what happened to you. So 3 things. 1 is inspiration, not instruction. 2, connecting with other people who have that same goal to succeed in a relationship or as a married couple. And then 3 is just truly be humble. Find people who are doing it. Take their advice and learn from their mistakes, and don't have to go through your own mistakes. But if I can support you guys in a way, feel free to stay in touch with me at thatiswhack.com. For real, thatiswhack.com. That's my social media. But man, thank you guys for coming, man. You guys have no clue what this does for me when I come back here every year and talk about new things. I've raised the question about relationships, marriage, because it's the real deal. Yeah.
So, I remember, I still have the vision of the first workshop I ever did. I won't go through all of it, it's kind of embarrassing, but that he was willing to go there, to step out of his comfort